Now, I'm sure someone out there has made this video before, but I'm gonna make it anyways because this was the best thing I've come up with right now. So yeah, deal with it. And by the end of this video, I can guarantee that you'll subscribe or like the video. Maybe both. Now, let's talk about some of the best character developments I've seen in shows, and maybe I'll make a part 2 if this video does well enough. Now, I'm sure the first character is on many other people's lists because he is just such an iconic character and his character development was just peak. I'm talking about Vegeta. This dude was a genocidal maniac that killed many people and destroyed planets just for the sake of doing it. This dude will turn into a great ape, gun a planet into smithereens, kill generations and generations of families, babies, whatever you want to say, because of what? Just because he felt like doing it. To think this character will go from this to this is absolutely crazy. Like I said before, he destroyed planets and killed many generations of families, not to mention his treatment towards his son, and punching a 5-year-old kid in the stomach for his own amusement, to being a very, very good dad and sacrificing his life for his rival and his family is honestly absolutely crazy when you think about it. Also, I noticed that in every a shift in his character that his armor changes, and although I could go into detail about it, I have this video that goes into great detail in 1 minute. So yeah, I'll show you that clip now.
Vegeta's battle outfits change a lot in Dragon Ball Z, but it isn't just aesthetics, it shows his character growth over time. Vegeta starts in a very over-the-top armor that's completely alien to anything worn on Earth, but as he becomes more of a begrudging ally on Namek, the armor becomes less garish, with Vegeta losing the big shoulder pads. After this, Vegeta's armor is badly damaged, so he wears the Batman shirt for a little bit, but he still wears armor for combat, except this time it's made by Bulma, which brings it a bit closer to Earthling territory. After the 7-year time skip, when fighting, Vegeta just puts on a sleeveless version of his Under Armour spandex with similar gloves and boots still. It's a shirt with pants in the anime, but in the manga, the one piece is real. Finally, he ends Dragon Ball Z by entering the 28th World Tournament in full Earth clothing, showing how he's fully embraced his new life on Earth, except for the gloves he still wears as a small reminder of his Saiyan heritage.
Honestly, Carthus explained that way better than I ever could. You guys should check him out on YouTube. He makes great videos about Dragon Ball. And I'll have his channel link in the description. And let's get to the next character. Next up we have Zuko. Zuko is a little bit more complicated because he did the things that he did because of the things that happened to him while he was growing up. Unlike Vegeta, who did the things that he did just because. And if you grew up with the Funimation dub of Dragon Ball Z in the 1990s, you probably got the impression that he did the things that he did because of Frieza, which is not true at all. Which in the manga and in the original Japanese anime, they said nothing about him doing things he did was because of Frieza. Which, yeah, the Funimation dub back in the 1990s was pretty inaccurate sometimes. Alright, I know this section of the video is about Zuko, so let's get back to Zuko. And it's crazy to think about that Zuko got banished from his home country because he didn't want to fight his father. And his father wanted to fight him because he spoke out of turn about a military tactic that will lead to the death of many soldiers, which fought for the country. And Ozai was like, nah, F them, let them die. And then Zuko lost his honor and then, gets banished. And then the only way to restore his honor is to find the Avatar. And it's crazy to think about how young he was when he got banished, because when he actually found the Avatar, he was a teenager. He wasn't even an adult yet. Let that sink in. And he was so caught up on trying to get his honor back that one of the wisest men in the show will give him some of the greatest advice ever, and he will just ignore some of the advice that he really needed. He also betrayed Katara's trust, and that wise man I was referring to earlier, that was his uncle that's been by his side his whole way of trying to find the Avatar. And he betrayed him too for the approval of someone who didn't really love him, who shouldn't have put conditions into their relationship and their love. And he masked it as his honor, but truly he just wanted his love from his father. And the thing is, he was going through his character development the whole show because of all the places he's been going to trying to look for the Avatar and everything like that. That he saw the fundamental flaws in his country and then decided to work with the Avatar whenever he realized that whenever he got the things that he wanted, he wasn't truly happy and was very disappointed in the stuff that he did. And then he tries to work with Avatar and tries to become a better person and be a better version of himself. But then he realized that he lost his firebending because he lost his will. Because the only thing driving him was to find the Avatar. And his anger because of how angry he was about not being able to find the Avatar and how the anger that's been built up in him because he didn't have the approval of his father. And I like his character development because we could see his trial and error. How many times he failed, how many times he succeeded, and how his character development wasn't so cut and dry. It actually took time and effort, which I think a lot of people can relate to, because I'm pretty sure all of us tried to become better versions of ourselves and try to make up for the things that we did in the past. And then it took more than one try and we kept failing and failing and failing. And then, it comes to us whenever the time is right. And Iroh is a real G because he accepted Zuko's apology right away and forgave him for the thing that he did, which most people in his position wouldn't do. And then, he fought his sister, and everybody lives happily ever after. I've never watched The Legend of Korra, so, don't spoil anything about Legend of Korra. Next, we got Bojack Horseman. Bojack is a troubled man who had to deal with many bad stuff in his life, like parental abuse, addiction, narcissism, and the decisions he makes. Bojack Horseman's character development is one of the most interesting ones I've seen in media. And one of the main things that stuck out to me was character relapse, which is something I don't really see in media, or at least not in this way, which is one thing that could be very admirable about the show. Now let's talk about Bojack Horseman, the individual. Bojack was a narcissistic, selfish, and many not so other great things in the beginning of the show. Throughout the show, we see Bojack Horseman betraying his friends in the worst ways possible, and even just his treatment towards the people that are around him, it's not good. Also, the way he took advantage of Sarah Lynn when she was in one of her most vulnerable moments in her life, and the fact that he almost slept with a 17-year-old when he was in his mid-50s. This guy had so many problems in the show. And though he would feel bad for the things that he does in the show, he wouldn't take any real steps to help himself and try to do better throughout the show. And though he did do a lot of bad things in the show, he did do some good things in the show too, like helping Diane get over the death of her father and helping Todd get out of a cult. I admire the show for showing the complexities of people. Like Bojack Horseman, although doing some bad things, he does some good things too. And although I did say he didn't do much to improve himself throughout the show, in the last season, he finally did. He decided that he needed to make a change, and then he decided to go to rehab. And at first, he was very reluctant to open up about his feelings and the stuff that happened throughout his life in rehab. Not to mention that he wasn't really participating in the activities that they were doing. Eventually, he did start participating in everything that they were doing in rehab, and that's good, he's making some kind of progress. But the thing is, Bojack wasn't getting better as a person. He was just getting better at rehab until he went with Jameson when she sneaked out of rehab. And while he was out, at a certain point he did lose Jameson, and while he was on his adventure, some things did trigger some flashback of his key moments of his unhealthy relationship with alcohol. And on his adventure, he did find out about Jameson's real past, and I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to spoil it. And I do definitely think you guys should give the show a watch if you haven't watched it already. But for the people that did watch the show, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. And seeing her dishonesty, it did make him realize that he wasn't really open in rehab and that he had to make a change and he had to open up more in rehab. And so that's what he did, and rehab really did help him to do better. He was not as selfish, he was more kind, he was willing to help people more. He wasn't as narcissistic. Like, he did promote a dating website for Todd because he was asexual, helping him find his next partner. Cleaning Diane's room just because. He didn't want any favors out of it, he just cleaned her room because he saw that she was in distress and thought that she needed the help. And through all this, he became a professor for acting, and that was going great for him. He also was supporting his sister in the things that she was doing in college, but his sister did find out about his past, and so she was very cold towards him and didn't want to talk to him or didn't want to hang out with him as much. And eventually, the things that he did in the past came into light in the media. The main thing being his involvement with Sarah Lynn's death and how he was involved with her death and basically led to her death. And the first interview was great. Everybody loved him. Everybody thought that he was so amazing that he changed from the things that he did in the past and inspired many people. And since he saw this, he did have a character relapse. He was more selfish again. He was more mean again. And so on and so on. The old Bojack, if you will. And then he did a second interview, and then everything else that he did came to light and exposed him for the person that he was. And his image in the public eye was ruined. And during all this, he was just trying to avoid the media attention. And then whenever his sister cut him off of his life, he relapsed. And so he went to prison because he was breaking and entering, and he almost drowned himself in a pool. And then sometime later, he went to Princess Carolyn's wedding. Then a lot of the people that he knew throughout his life cut him off because they all decided that they moved on from Bojack and that their life was better without him. And then the audience is left to know if whether Bojack changed for the better or he just kept living this habit of trying to get better and then relapsing. It's a bitter ending, but it was so well written, and Bojack's character development is one of the most complex ones I've ever seen in media, and one that I've never seen done before, at least in this way. And if you never watched Bojack Horseman, you guys should definitely give it a watch. It's one of the best things you'll ever watch. Same thing with Avatar and Dragon Ball Z. And I'm gonna end off the video there. This video is getting a little bit too long, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the best equipment to make long form videos. And if you like the video, subscribe and like the video so I can make more videos like this. And would you guys like to see a part 2? Sorry this video isn't longer and I didn't go into too much detail with each character's development that was in this video. And I definitely do plan to give each character in this video their own video and a longer video. But as I said before, I don't have the best equipment for that right now. And so yeah, hopefully if you guys like the video, you like and subscribe, and hopefully this video does well so I could get better equipment so I can make those longer form videos. And skip the rest of this video if you don't care about this, but I'm just gonna introduce myself for a little bit. Hi, I'm the Marigold Kage, and I make videos about TV shows, anime, media. So if you guys are interested in that, this channel is definitely for you. And I do hope to make longer videos, video essays and stuff like that, but like I said, I don't have the best equipment for that right now. So I hope you guys have a good day, and thank you for watching this video. Bye.